Hello, friends. My name is Leslie. I'm a Dominican living in Poland, and today we are going to talk about things that you should not do when you're traveling to Poland. The first one, and this is something that I definitely struggle with as someone who comes from an island, it's do not be late. In my country, when people tell you that something is at 5, let's say, everybody kind of knows that this means 5:30 closer to 6. So when I came here and I was told, "Oh yeah, we're going to have lunch and lunch is at 12." I was like, "Okay, chill. It's not that far. I can leave my house at 12, for example, or like 11:40." And I quickly realized that that's not the case because everybody else is really punctual. So if you are late, even if it's just by a few minutes, it's just, it's just rude to everybody else. So it's definitely something that I've had to readjust my internal clock so that I'm not just constantly being late to places. And still, I struggle with it. I'm sorry, it's 25 years of living in a place where it's okay to be late that I need to fix. The next one is to not be overly informal. Here, normally people are called pani or pan depending if they are man or woman, and this is something that you really need to consider when you are communicating with people. In my country and in my language, Spanish, we also have this señor, señora, or don and doña, so it's something that it's really engraved in me. However, since I mostly communicate in English here, it's just a bit of a struggle for me to remember and to translate this since English doesn't really have this, as strongly as languages as Spanish or Polish have it. So it's definitely something to keep in mind, especially if you're a native English speaker. Don't just go to someone and call them by their first name. In my case, I always have issues with my fiance's mom and dad because I just didn't know how to call them so much. So thankfully now they are my kids' grandparents and I just call them Babsha and Yadek, and that's working fine for me. The next one is do not expect to be constantly asked how are you or like to have small talk. Polish people are really direct, and unless someone is really interested in knowing how you are, they're not gonna say things like, "Oh, hello, hello, how are you?" How are you is not something that you will normally listen. So if someone is really asking you that, feel free. Or if you know, most important, if you ask someone how they are doing, expect to hear the truth. In my country, it's kind of customary that you say, "Hello, hello, how are you?" "Oh, I'm fine." "How are you?" "Oh, I'm fine." Even if you're actually crying to sleep every night, you're gonna say that you're fine because this is just how we talk. Here, if you ask someone how they are, they're gonna let you know, "Oh, actually, I'm having a terrible week." Or, whatever. Maybe they're having a great week. Good for them. But the point is that this interaction is definitely not the same as in different countries where the small talk is kind of a customary social rule. The next thing that you should not do, again, as a Dominican, I struggle with this. You cannot drink on the street. You cannot be drinking beer or anything like that on the street. In my country, it's so chill when you go to a park. This is like a custom that we have. You can go to the park, you can buy a bottle of rum or whatever, some Coca-Cola, and you just sit on the park and you drink and you have a good time. Don't do that in Poland if you don't want to get fined. I actually have some video, I'll try to find it, from the first time that I was going to Gdansk and we got like a little beer and I was like,
Aquí uno no puede de que beber cerveza en la calle, así que estamos medio como que yo tuviese, como que yo tuviese un blanco yo. De que, hey, cuidado que iban los monos y lo que tengo una cerveza.
"I want to drink this." Actually, it was like even like a non-alcoholic beer, and my fiance was like, maybe try to drink that fast because you don't want some policeman to reach out to you. And I was like, "Why? It doesn't even have alcohol." And he was like, "Yeah, still, maybe not a good idea." So if you come from a country or if you are the kind of people that just want to go ahead drinking, not in Poland. And the last one, and this is something that I feel like it's kind of common sense, but at the same time, do not compare Poland to Russia. Again, this one it's a bit of common sense. But I remember that when I first introduced my fiance to my stepdad, he said, "Oh yeah, so this is the Russian guy." And I was like, "Don't say that, please." And he was like, no, I'm Polish." And I could see in his face that he was like, "What the heck did this guy just say?" And I was so embarrassed. And then my stepdad proceeded to say, "Yeah, well, it's basically the same. They are so close." And I was like, "Don't you see that I'm trying to get this man to marry me? How can you say that? How rude of you to mess with my future because you don't know geography or history." So just keep in mind that there is a long list of reasons why the Polish people do not want to be compared with Russians. Just learn it. They are Polish, they have their own identity, and that's it. So yeah, friends, that's my list of things not to do in Poland if you want the Polish people to like you, of course. And yeah, if you are Polish and you know something else that I should include in this list, please let me know down below. Don't forget to subscribe. Again, we are so close to 500. This is more than I ever expected. So please hit that subscribe button, like this video, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!